Okay, Lewis, let's go. We're gonna have to go find something else to do, I guess, because we can't dig beets anymore.
Rain, go away!
We're gonna give up. It's getting to where the wheels won't turn anymore, and it's still raining. It's just getting worse and worse. So in a period of about 4 hours here, it's been just raining, and it's gone from dry to wet in 4 hours. Gotta love the Wyoming weather, huh?
It's October 9th today, and opening day of elk season. So we've been at this harvest for a long time now, and so far we've been plagued with hot weather, and the hot weather's had us shut down every afternoon.
Today we're getting shut down at 10 o'clock because it gets too hot and the beets won't store in the pile.
It's been good for the cow end of things because we've gone out there and got a lot of things done out there in the afternoons, and we just weaned some calves yesterday, but this beet crop has got us concerned right now.
Or Monday, Tuesday, not looking too hot. And then the cold temperatures are pretty concerning with 18-degree lows on next Friday. Today's Saturday. But it is getting above freezing in the daytime.
Here's where we're at right now. We were extremely dry, almost to the point where we were experiencing some serious harvest loss and couldn't hardly get the machines in the ground dry. So we turned on the irrigation again.
Hello, you reached the cell phone of Dan Miller.
Never
I'm not
answers.
able to get to my phone right now, but please leave me a message and I'll call you back as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hey, I just needed to talk to my farm advisor. I was wondering if you thought it would be a smart idea to put a little bit more water on these beets. It's starting to dry out quite a bit, and I think maybe I could gain some tonnage between now and...
Dan
Okay.
Miller is our veterinarian.
Hello? Yeah.
You dip the water on those, you water it all night long,
Oh.
as much as you can.
Okay. I'll really pour it on.
Put it to it. Pretend like there's a goldfish in the rose and you gotta keep it alive until you finish.
Yeah, that's a rule of thumb, isn't it? Did you see a drone flying around when you were out there working?
No?
No? Oh, because there's been a drone flying around out here.
That Johnny Reed guy?
Yeah, that Johnny Reed guy pestering us. Can't get nothing done when he's around.
I'm taking a 20 gauge with me tomorrow.
That's a good plan.
Because if you have a drone license, you can shoot those out of the air and harvest them.
Yeah, you just gotta have the license.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah.
Or shoot the drone and run to town and buy the license later, you know.
That's always a good plan.
Yeah. No. There's not much to eat them, though. You know, there's lots to look at, but there's not much to eat there. But
Yeah, sure is fun shooting them. Louie's been trying to catch it. Sounds good. Okay, talk to you later. So one time I told him, rule of thumb with corn is they say after it gets knee high or something like that, you put a goldfish in the row and you water it enough to keep the goldfish alive. So he told me, you just water away on those beets and you know, pretend there's a goldfish in the row and keep that goldfish alive on them. We were talking about the drone flying around, and he said, yeah, I'm taking my 20 gauge tomorrow. If I see one, I'm gonna shoot it. He said, you can get one of them drone licenses and you can shoot them after you have a license. But they're not very good eating, he said.
It's a guessing game. I mean, you only got a reliable 10-day forecast, so you go ahead and water a little bit more so that you can get harvest done in an efficient way. Well, then when you get a rain event like this, and like we're supposed to get in the next couple days, then you're going to be wet. And so that's where we're at.
So far, we've been getting shut down because it's too hot, and now it's too wet. Next, it's going to be too cold.
We've had it in years in the past where it doesn't get above freezing all day long. It'll freeze the beet, and then they won't store either.
Then when it gets cold, they might shut us down because it's... When the beets freeze, they can't store in the pile, so we have to leave them in the ground until they warm up.
Overnight lows this coming week, 2 nights at 17 degrees. So we have a pretty good canopy on these beets right now, and that will insulate them for a few nights. And the ground temp is fairly warm. You know, we're probably dealing with like 38 to 42 degree ground temps right now. And so that'll hold us through a couple nights. So it's supposed to get down to like 23 one night, and then 2 nights of 17, followed by like a night of 20. And then, so by the time 5 days of these teens to lower 20s hit us in the evenings, that canopy will be melted down to hardly nothing. Every time you melt that canopy down, you expose that crown to frost of those beets, and those frozen beets will not store. And in fact, you have to have them processed within 3 days.
We want it to go into the pile at 50 degrees or less. Well, if they're frozen solid, they won't store either. Same thing will happen. The pile will start rotting, and so that's a big concern right now too.
So it's a huge concern. You know, it looks like the weather is fairly favorable after this week's freezes, but there's going to be some frost damage out there, I think, that we're going to have to probably hold up and allow those beets a chance to heal up. So there's a theory out there that if you get just a light frost on the crown, that those beets will actually heal up, and so then they'll store. But if you freeze down a certain amount on those crowns below the growing point of those crowns, that they're done.
This is the first time we've had to use the pull bar in a long time.
Yeah. I'm gonna push him up around top, come down to me.
So he doesn't have a tow loop on the front of his truck, so we're gonna have to try to just push him out. He's doing pretty good on his own, but it's pretty dangerous because there's a lot of stuff you can mess up on the front of the back of these trucks here, especially old like that. It's dry dirt underneath.
It's just the dust that got muddy.
It's just a drizzle right now, and if it quits, which the hourly was saying it was gonna kind of back off about 9 o'clock. It's 8:30 now. If it backs off, we can keep going. Give it a little air time, it'll soak in a little better. Keep doing this while we're doing, one truck at a time.
We've got some sandy ground that we can go to, and we always save that for this exact moment. Clint will probably head us to the sandy ground next, and if we do get a little snow out of the deal, that further insulates those crowns on those beets. So sometimes snow's not a bad thing if you've got some cold weather coming.
Now what do we do?
Exactly.
This is what happens when it rains, and I said, oh well gosh, something needs to happen so we can stop harvesting. So I flattened the tire.
Yeah.
No, it's just a flat tire. It's what happens.
It ran out of air.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not flat, it's just out of air.
Just flat on one side, just turn it over.